It's time for another road trip in our Model 3. This time we're going to the lake of the Ozarks State Park in Missouri. This time we're actually going on a trip to kind of take a little bit of a vacation. It's going to be a camping trip. We're going to the Lake of the Ozarks State Park. Why did we pick that one? I'm going to have Rachel explain it.
We decided to go to Missouri because it's halfway between Texas and Wisconsin. And we have a friend from Wisconsin that we don't get to see very often. And so we agreed that we would just meet halfway, and Lake of the Ozarks turned out to be the perfect spot.
All right, and we have Fiona with us as well. There you go. Fiona can say hi.
We fit a lot of stuff in the car since we're going camping, and this is the first time we've taken this car camping, but it's pretty packed.
And we're doing tent camping.
Yeah, we're doing tent camping this time.
So in here, we've got all the stuff that we'll need for the road. We've got our charger, our air compressor, first aid kit, some tools, and our tents are there as well.
Yeah, we have two-person tents. They're small tents that are there. Right here.
I'm gonna move this here.
So you can see that.
All right, and so we can close the frunk up.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who have seen us do videos, we used to do teardrop camping. We still have a teardrop camper, but we decided to just do tents this time.
Yeah, mainly because we don't have a hitch on this yet.
Right.
And look how packed up that trunk is. We've got our sleeping bags. This is a big foam mattress. It takes up a lot of space, but it's for comfort. We've got other things in here as well. Sleeping bags, tent stakes. We've got all of our cooking stuff down in the sub trunk there. And other cooking stuff and clothing, etc. So if you see stuff through behind the driver's seat, you'll understand why. So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about the route plan. This is a little over 600 miles one way, and we can easily do that in one day, and we're going to prove that on the way back. But on the way there, we're doing it in 2 days because there's a tiny window. We can't check into our campsite until 3 p.m. and at 4:30 p.m. the camp office closes. So we've got an hour and a half window. To pull this distance, we would have had to have left well before sunrise, and we weren't about that right now. So we're going to do a short drive from here to a town called Catoosa, Oklahoma, which is just east of Tulsa. And we're in Fort Worth, Texas right now, so we'll be today going to just east of Tulsa, and then tomorrow we'll sleep in a little bit and head out to the campsite. We'll be at the state park for, I think, 5 days. And on the 6th day after that, we'll head back, and we're going to do all of that in one trip. So this is going to be a 2-part video. First part is going to get us to the campground, and then the second part will be coming out next week, and that'll be the trip home, which is just going to be a straight shot. Total on the trip, we'll be doing 12 superchargers, 6 on the way there, 6 on the way back. There's a mixture of version 2s and version 3s. I'll mention which ones are what as we come in. And we're going to be keeping track, just for fun, just for giggles, of how many stalls they have, how busy they were, and then how many of each different make and model of vehicle we saw charging, and we'll kind of have a total of that at the end of each video. So let's get into the route plan. Since we're meeting someone there and we have this small arrival window, we had to coordinate what time we were going to get where. So I planned this out using a better route planner, and our first stop, according to a better route planner, is not too far away from here, just on the north side of Fort Worth at that Buc-ee's that I used in that one video from before. So let's go into the screen and plug in today's destination. I'm going to hit navigate. I've already typed in the hotel address here, and I'm going to have it load and see what it does. And now it's got the charge stops plugged in. On our first leg, it does not want us to stop at this charger right here, which is at a Buc-ee's in Fort Worth. Now, we might stop there anyway if we feel like we want to, but we don't need to charge. We can make it all the way to our first charge stop in Ardmore, Oklahoma, which is up here. If we stopped at the Buc-ee's, it is a version 3 supercharger with 20 stalls, and the Buc-ee's is huge. But if we go to Ardmore, it's a mixture. PlugShare says it's 150 to 250. If I tap on the screen, it says 250 max. So the Tesla app says it's 18 stalls, 250 max. So this should be a version 3 supercharger, even though PlugShare says 150 to 250. We'll confirm that when we get there. 18 stalls should be fine. So right now, that's where the car wants to stop. It says that we'll get there with 41% left in the battery, so I see no reason to stop and charge at the Buc-ee's. If we can make it all the way to Ardmore and still be at 41%, we're good, right?
Agree, yeah.
So we left home at 100%. We're not home now, that's why we're at 91. So that's going to be the plan, is we're going to stop at Ardmore. And if we need to stop at the Buc-ee's for some reason, we'll just stop at the Buc-ee's, but I don't think we'll plug in.
Okay, sounds good.
And then another charge stop in Oklahoma City, and then we're off to the hotel in Catoosa. So you ready to get on the road?
Let's do it. We just wanted to mention that we do not have full self-drive right now. Our full self-drive trial expired, and so now we are just using the software that came with the car, which is called
Basic Autopilot.
Basic Autopilot. That's the stuff. We're going to be using that on this trip, and then at the end we'll compare how that was compared to the road trip that we did using the full self-drive mode. Look at that. We parked next to a Honda CTX. That's just like the motorcycle I used to have. Nice.
So about a mile ago, I noticed a little red thing pop up on my screen. I didn't see what it said, but then it said it was re-navigating to avoid a supercharger closure. And it has me going, I'm gonna try to do this so it shows the whole route. Now it has me going this way to get out of Texas. It wants me to go to Denison, and the problem with charging in Denison is this leg here. Going from Denison, there's not another supercharger between there and Tulsa. And that's over 200 miles. And I'm not comfortable pushing this car that far. If we did, we'd have to charge to dang near 100% in Denison to pull it off. Yeah, the car says we'd be there for 45 minutes at the Denison supercharger.
What other options do we have?
So I'm going to explore some other options. So let's go back to the screen. I want to stick with going the way we were planning, just because I don't want to test that route. All right, so there's Fiona. Fiona, what should we do? How should we fix this? But yeah, that's it. That's our supercharger in Ardmore. It's closed.
So we should be able to stop at that Buc-ee's that we thought we were going to be able to
But we can't make it to that charger in Oklahoma City. Supercharger in Denton, now that makes a little bit more sense than stopping at that Buc-ee's. It is a little bit off the road, but it gets us a little closer. And from there we can make Oklahoma City. Because we're only talking about charging here, which is going to be a version 3 with 20 stalls at a Buc-ee's, compared to here, which is, it's in some major shopping center that is quite a ways off it's a decent amount of distance off the road, because this Ardmore charger's closed. If we're going to have a 25-minute stop, I'd rather it be at the Buc-ee's.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So let's do that. Well,
all right.
So our next move is the Buc-ee's. I guess we're stopping there anyway.
Alrighty.
All right, we are plugged in. This is the Buc-ee's on the north side of Fort Worth. Version 3 supercharger, black collar. We've got a green light already. We rolled in at something like 76% state of charge, so we're really high. It's just we may have to get all the way from here to Oklahoma City, so we need to have a little bit of a top off to make it there with that charger in Ardmore being closed. So I'm gonna go into the car, plug in some stuff in the route planning, and see how long we need to be here. And so far we're getting 103, it was 103, now it's down to 102, 101, it's ramping down. So I'm gonna go back to my route and navigate, and I'm gonna try to plug in the hotel. And now it says the Ardmore supercharger's working. Interesting.
Well, maybe they fixed it.
Maybe it was just down for a minute and it's back up.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay. Well,
I think we should go ahead and get charged here, and then we'll stop there too and just verify.
yeah. So we'll just stay here for a couple of minutes. So I don't know exactly how long we've been here, but we're almost full. We've gone up to 98%, much faster than I expected, even at the charging speeds that we are. Rachel's not back from the bathroom yet. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and unplug. So yeah, let's do that. At this rate, we should be able to skip the supercharger. Oh no, there's Rachel. Rachel's coming back. So perfect timing. I am unplugging and putting the charger back. So we're at 98%.
Yeah, I figured it takes a long time. You have to walk all the way
in there and then come back.
It's a long way.
Yeah, let's get going. So it says that we have to stop at Ardmore for 0 minutes. I'm gonna end the trip and re-plug in the navigation because we're at 99% now. And yeah, now it completely skips that Ardmore charger, and we'll make it to Oklahoma City with the 20% state of charge. We're golden.
Yeah, I figured something like that was gonna happen.
All right, there we go. We are plugged in Ardmore, Oklahoma. We got almost a full charge while we were stopped at that Buc-ee's, and we weren't in a hurry. We were only plugged in long enough for Rachel to go in to the bathroom and come right back out. And it's a 20 stall charger, so we weren't blocking anybody, but we ended up getting to 99%. And we had some traffic in Denton, Texas, and going through that traffic, the car no longer wanted to skip this charger. It shows us arriving in Oklahoma City with 8% of the battery left, but we kind of needed to get out and stretch our legs a little bit and let Fiona eat some grass, it looks like. So we're only going to be here probably for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back on the road. So I didn't hold up my end of the bargain because of how little time we were at the Buc-ee's, but there were 3 Model Ys, 1 Model X, 1 Model S, and we were the only Model 3. So let's see what we've got here at Ardmore. We've got 1, 2, and there was a third who just left, so I'm going to count him. 3 Model Ys, 1 Model 3, and 1 Model X. So we'll add those on to the total. All right, and we're done. Just got the message that we have enough energy to continue the trip. It actually shows us now arriving at the supercharger in Oklahoma City with 17% left. So not really an easy place to use the restroom here. So we're going to find a place before we get on the freeway, and we'll kind of update at the charge stop in Oklahoma City. How's the trip going for you so far, Rachel?
It's fine. It's an easy, comfortable trip. No problems.
Fiona has been having an interesting time. She's been alternating from laps to sitting on the mattress that's in the back of the car, and right now she's just munching on some grass. She likes to do that.
Having a good old time.
Yep. We have unplugged, and we're looking at right now an average efficiency on the trip of 277 watt hours per mile. We've gone 134 miles so far, and we really could have done this with this being the first charge, because even though the app said this charger, the car thought this charger was shut down, it is back up and running again. So it either wasn't shut down or it was just off for a few minutes. So off we go. Mental note, in an unfamiliar large city such as Oklahoma City, maybe I should turn the sound on the navigation, because there was enough lag in the nav that I didn't notice this turn and drove past it and just caught these superchargers out of the corner of my eye. We are at the supercharger. We are at 21% state of charge. We need to get enough energy to get to the hotel on the east side of Tulsa. Yeah, let's go plug in. So I'll grab this. All right, we've got blue. This is a version 3 supercharger, and we're green. That was a quick handshake. Let's see if I can't see what's going on with our charging session. We're up to 129 kilowatts already, 148, 161, there we go, there's 171. So there's our max speed. I'm gonna check where we're at. Does not yet say what our battery state of charge will be, but it does say up here 20 minutes to continue the trip. So this is going to be our first proper charge stop of the trip. That's not just going to be just a couple of minutes for a quick splash and go. Here I was thinking we wouldn't be by a place where there's food. We're some kind of kitchen and barbecue right over there. Not entirely sure exactly what it is, yeah. But we got a little hungry on this leg, and so we stopped about 40 miles ago. Got some drive-through food and let Fiona out of the car for a little bit. Gave her dinner and some water, and she's out walking now. Right over there with Rachel. Going around, getting some sniffs, seeing what's going on at this charging stop. This is a version 3 supercharger that right now has 2 Model S's, 2 Model Y's, and 4 Model 3s parked at it. And it's supposed to have 16 stalls. We're not too far away from downtown Oklahoma City. This charging stop also has some destination chargers. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 level 2 destination chargers. Nope, 11. There's another one over there all by itself. Maybe 2 more over there, including all of these superchargers. We've got a company Cybertruck pulling in next to us here at this charger. Check that out. And this is ladder that is sticking out of the bed, going to hit the charging unit. Maybe. No! He looks like he's gonna clear it. So we were just in this really big traffic jam in Oklahoma City that was a multi-car accident. This wreck looked like there was a lifted silver Chevy Silverado 4-door that was heavily involved. It was spun sideways in the number 1 lane. There were a whole lot of police cars there, about a dozen police cars, 2 fire trucks, and it looked like at least 3 other vehicles that were stopped. One of them was may have just been a witness because it didn't look too damaged, but the other 2 looked like they were fairly damaged. And the only one that was sideways was this silver truck, and it made me think of something, because when we got on the freeway after we got our dinner in Purcell, Oklahoma, we had this happen. All right, so I'm going to go from the rear camera. Watch right here. Now from the front, I've got this semi truck in front of me and this one next to me. We're doing 70. I'm matching this guy's speed. We've got a lot of traffic around us, so watch in this area here. Right there he is. Lifted Chevy Silverado 4-door.
So you think that the guy that sideswiped us on the shoulder, I mean, he didn't sideswipe us, but the guy that swooped around us on the shoulder was the guy that caused the wreck later?
I can't prove it. All I know was the trucks looked identical.
Yeah.
So
might have been this. I mean, it's certainly plausible.
We do know that he blew past everybody on the shoulder 40 miles earlier.
Yep.
So the car says we'll get to our hotel at 19%. I got into a conversation with the guy driving the Cybertruck. He's on his way to Tulsa also. And he said he got 254 kilowatts there for a second. And I said, yeah, that's what you can do at a version 3. So we're gonna go ahead and unplug. I'll pop the stats up for this charging stop so you know how long we were here, how long we were stopped, and how much it cost. And I still haven't looked up the name of that grocery store. I'll put it up in a graphic and we'll be good to go. On the road, our next stop today is at the hotel we're gonna be spending the night at. Like I said at the beginning of the trip, we could do this trip all the way in one shot if we didn't have that specific time we needed to be there. So we're just gonna stop for the night here in a little bit. On to Tulsa. This is why we picked this hotel. So let's see if it works. It's been coiled up, which is nice. There's a J1772 plug here, so that space could go for it. Signal works. I've got a blue light. It's flashing, it's connecting. I got a green light. There's no indication on that destination charger that it's working, but the car says it's getting power. I've ramped up to 5 kilowatts.
Woohoo, 5 whole kilowatts.
6. 6 is where it's gonna stop. So we're charging at Fiat speed.
Yay.
And it's a little over 8 hours to full, but that's okay. We're here for the night. Actually, we're here for like 13 hours.
All right.
We're good. So we're at our hotel in Catoosa, and right across the freeway over there, that's the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. We'll be stopping there on the way home because there's a Tesla supercharger in their parking lot, and that's one of our charging stops. Oddly enough, that great big resort hotel looking thing, it's a version 2 8-stall Tesla charger in that big thing. There's a good chance it'll be full. But we're at our hotel for the night. We're gonna check in, and then we'll kind of update you on the trip when we get on the road in the morning. Had a nice relaxing stay at this hotel. It's a Glow by Best Western here in Catoosa, Oklahoma. It was a nice enough room. Breakfast was good. We were able to chill and watch a little bit of Shark Week, and we're getting ready to get back on the road. we're going to talk a little bit more about the trip here in a minute, but I want to go over a few stats so far. We have stopped at 3 superchargers. We could have gotten away with only stopping at 2, but like we didn't know if that one in Ardmore was open or not. The car got confused. We have seen so far 4 other Model 3s, 8 Model Ys, 2 Model X's, 3 Model S's, and 1 Cybertruck at these superchargers. We haven't come across any Fords or Rivians. None of the superchargers on this route have magic docks, so it's only going to be the cars that currently, as of this point in July of 2024, that can charge at superchargers. Now, we have spent 43 minutes at superchargers so far, 10 minutes at the first one, 7 at the second one, and 26 in Oklahoma City. And the 10 that we spent at that first one, most of that was just the time it took to get in and out of the Buc-ee's. We have spent $24.31 at the supercharger on this trip. We've so far gone 354 miles. Down the road here before we get on the freeway is a QT gas station. We're going to be filling up our drink cups there on the way out. Gasoline right there is $3.19.9. With the gasoline car that this one replaced, we would have used a little over 13 gallons. I don't remember what the decimal point was, but that would have cost us so far $41.94. Getting the free charge at this hotel overnight and being back at 100% before we get going on this second day is going to save us a little bit on that and make it even more fuel savings in the car. So, let's get back on the road. We'll tell you a little bit about our first day of this trip as we're moving on to Joplin, Missouri. I need to plug in the route for today with today's destination in here, so let's go to the screen. As you can see here, this little 7 dot, that's the supercharger that's at the Hard Rock Casino on the other side of the freeway, and we'll be stopping there on the way back. Now, I had already plugged this in, so Lake of the Ozarks State Park, that's where it's at. It's giving us the route. And when I did this on a better route planner, it wanted me to stop here in Joplin. There is a supercharger there in Joplin. But as it stands right now, we can make it to Springfield and still have about 19% left. So we may skip this supercharger in Joplin, or we may stop there anyway in case we need to go to the bathroom or something like that. But that's our trip, and then this is where we're finishing up. We're looking at 273 watt hours per mile right now as our average efficiency for the trip, which is decent. I think the sunshade's helping us out with the efficiency.
I think you're right, because it has been hot. It's been 100 degrees, 99 degrees quite often.
Mainly because the air conditioner just hasn't been working as hard.
Right, I agree.
So, all right, let's get on the road. Well, we got 8 miles down the Will Rogers Turnpike, Interstate 44, and the car said, you know what, I changed my mind. Go ahead and stop to charge in Joplin. So we're going to listen to the car.
Sure.
So I have no reason to do that. Yes, we should have the range to make it to Springfield. And there's some weird braking again.
This is what they call phantom braking.
No, this is weird. There's something up with the trip. It was slowing down to make a U-turn. I'm not on the right road. I got on the wrong road.
Well, but it looks like that's. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
We're not on Interstate 44. I was wondering what was going on.
Something weird. Okay, so here you go.
So I missed a sign somewhere. And yeah, I'm going to need to make a turn. And right now the car does want me to turn around, so I think I will.
Yeah, so we're here where the arrow is, and if we keep going, we're going to have to go this way, but we were supposed to go that way where the blue line is. Oops.
And there's my turn, but I can't get over.
Oops.
And it's wanting to slow down for those. So yeah, I'm not on Interstate 44.
Okay.
I'm going to fix that. Now we're on the Will Rogers Turnpike, Interstate 44 in Oklahoma. Apparently about a mile after the on-ramp of getting on the freeway, there was an interchange for, I think it was Oklahoma, or it was Highway 412. It might have been a U.S. highway. Doesn't matter. It was the wrong road.
Little teeny error. We went the wrong way.
So we were talking about what we were going to discuss in this clip, and I just took that exit.
So
And
that means it's your fault.
No.
It's your fault,
mine.
YouTube.
It's mine. But like I said at our charge stop in Oklahoma City, when you're in unfamiliar territory, probably a good idea to turn the sound on the navigation.
Which we still did.
We had not done yet, which I have done now, and so now the car will talk to us and talk.
So now you'll hear it probably.
So we just turned around and now we're on the road, but that ate up some of our time buffer and explains why the car said, okay, guess we're stopping in Joplin to charge.
Oh, right, because we're gonna have to now because we drove a little too far out of our way.
We went 8 miles down the wrong road.
Across the river.
Had to turn around and come back. So that's fun. So let's talk about the trip so far.
Alrighty, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, we're on the Will Rogers Turnpike.
Oh yeah, Turnpike. Okay, I had this question. Where I'm from, a toll road is called a tow road. That's a road that you have to pay money, a toll, to drive on, right? But in many other parts of the country, they call a road that you pay money to drive on a turnpike. And I can't find anybody who knows why the phrase turnpike means you pay to be on the road.
So tell us down in the comments.
If you know, please enlighten me because I don't understand.
Yeah, so let us know. We know we could probably Google it, but why Google it when we can have somebody tell us in the comments?
That's what YouTube is for.
Exactly. Some interesting stuff from the trip yesterday as we were going through Tulsa. We came across the business that Cybertruck belonged to.
We actually passed it.
Yeah, and they installed Tesla Powerwalls and Tesla Solar and all of that stuff. And it was specifically the Tesla branded stuff that they worked on, but they don't use that Cybertruck on the job site. They use it as a billboard. So
crazy.
It goes around to events and things like that, and it's got the wrap on it with the company information on it. And I mean, it's going to attract attention.
And then I
the
said,
thing is an attention magnet.
He goes, if they don't use it on the job site, I said, why did the guy have a ladder sticking out the back? And apparently Luke asked the guy that question, and he said
he was working on something on his own.
It was a personal project.
So there you go, and all of that stuff. FSD. So I have right now full self-drive. I do not have that software activated right now. We're going to have a video coming up about final thoughts comparing FSD to where we're at right now. So I'm just going to give you an update on the trip. Right, I have the traffic aware cruise control turned on. That's it right now.
Cruise control.
I don't even have auto steer. Yesterday I turned on auto steer a few times, like a handful of times for a short distance. I think the longest distance that I had auto steer beta turned on was probably the last 15 miles coming into Tulsa on the Turner Turnpike. Most of the time I just dealt with traffic aware cruise control because it takes about as much pressure on the wheel to hold the car straight as you have to apply for feedback. And yes, the car has gotten better at the nag. It doesn't nag as much as it used to. There's been some software updates recently that have remedied that. And I've mentioned in earlier videos that I wish it could use this camera up here to make sure that you're paying attention, and it's doing that now. At least it seems that way. I got almost 2 minutes without touching the wheel yesterday. Just had my hands a quarter of an inch away from it, and I just made sure I was looking straight forward and glancing at my mirrors occasionally, but not turning my head, just glancing with my eyes, and it didn't nag until I looked down at the screen just like that to get an idea of how much further we had to go, and about 10 seconds after that it gave me a nag. So the nag has gotten better. It used to be I could only get about 40 seconds in between nags.
Okay,
so
good to know. Updates. Thanks, Tesla.
That is an update, but I actually, and I'll go into this in a little bit more detail, but I actually think I kind of prefer, especially in traffic, being able to decide when the car makes its lane change and not having to worry about fighting it. I mean, with FSD, it would give me a warning that it would turn the turn signal on and give me the chance to cancel it. But I like having that control. And it's nice at the end, toward the end of the drive, to just double tap the stalk, turn on auto steer, and let the car drive for a little bit, just to get a little bit of a break.
All right, cool. What else did you want to talk
What
about?
else were we going to talk about? We talked about the truck, the hotel.
Oh, right, the hotel. So we stayed at a place that we've never stayed at before. This was a place called Glow by Best Western, and we picked it because it had the charger, and they allowed pets, and they had a free breakfast. Those are the things that we were looking for, and it was actually less expensive than comparable hotels in the area. So we kind of figured since it was a little less expensive, it might be a little less nice. We might have to give up some amenities, but we were pleasantly surprised. It was really equivalent service, and like the quality was really pretty close to the Holiday Inn Express that we normally stay at.
And the staff was really laid back.
The staff was great.
I don't think they get very many EVs at that hotel, because when we pulled in and we backed up to the charger, I plugged in, said to the camera that it was working, and the desk clerk or manager was walking by and said, "It is working? Good."
Yeah.
So it was just doing that.
Speaking of the desk clerk, we have some footage of him playing badminton with his family. The Tesla cam got him playing in the parking lot. It was really cool.
I was taking Fiona for a walk, and the two of them are out there with their badminton rackets and a birdie, just knocking it back and forth to each other until a car would come in the driveway, and it was just like Wayne's World. He called out, "Car!"
Game on.
I did that. As soon as the car went through, I called on game on.
Right, that's great.
Just to have the little throwback. But we are going to continue on this trip. It looks like right now we are going to stop in Joplin, which is about 83 more miles.
By the way, for those of you that are paying attention, yes, we have been on Route 66 for a large part of this trip. Joplin, Missouri.
And from Oklahoma City is when we got on it.
Yeah.
And last month we were in Amarillo.
That's true.
We're not going much. We're not going to as far as St. Louis. We'll be getting off of this freeway in.
Our friend coming from Wisconsin
Lebanon.
is stopped in St. Louis.
St. Louis,
though.
and that's where she's at right now.
Yeah.
So there's that, but we are going to be stopping in Joplin in about 83 miles. I'm going to take a moment right now to just plug a couple of things. This is not the end of the video, but if you do like our content, please consider subscribing. That's it is free. You get notified when our videos come up and things like that. But if you want a little bit more, like custom badges, I'm working on making some emojis. Early access to videos, members only polls, stuff like that. We have just launched channel memberships. So if you want to help us, if you want to support the channel a little bit, you can opt in for a membership. But if you don't want to, you can just please subscribe. We're going to continue on this road trip. We'll see you in Joplin. It's raining. So I was wrong. It is a version 3 supercharger, 8 stalls. We're plugged in. I've got one Model Y, one other Model 3, so 2 total Model 3s, and a Model S. And here is a Rivian R1S pulling in. Sweet. And he's got to find a place where he can fit and reach his plug. So we're in Joplin, Missouri. We're getting a very light rain shower right now, next to a Harley dealership that we saw coming in. And this is our first non-Tesla at a Chargers, that R1S down there. So he's pulled up. We'll get him going. Let's take a look at how we're doing. We were at 44%. We're at 48% now. And it has us skipping Springfield and going straight to the campground at Lake of the Ozarks State Park in just outside of Osage Beach. Now we're meeting our person in Osage Beach to do grocery shopping before we go to the campground. So I'm going to end the trip, because I don't know if we want to do a 170-mile trip anyway.
Maybe not.
I'm going to search for chargers, and there we go, get the map reoriented. And there's the 2 chargers there in Springfield, and this is where we're actually meeting her. So that's going to be our destination, is this supercharger in Osage Beach. It's right in the parking lot of a Hy-Vee, and now it wants us to do Springfield. So we're going to be here long enough for me to have just figured that out on the screen. Rachel's going to go to the bathroom, and as soon as she's back, we're going to go again. We just unplugged here at this come and go station. We're leaving here at 75% and 193 miles of range. The car is very likely going to add that charge stop up in Springfield when we get back on the road. It said it wanted to charge for 4 more minutes to make it to Osage Beach, but we don't want to do 162 miles in one shot. Other people can do that. We're not those people.
Right.
I've seen several other non-Teslas on the road, but we're not counting the ones that we see as we're driving, because I would not ever be able to keep up. We're on our way. The car still doesn't think we need to charge in Springfield just yet, so we may need to pay attention to our route planning as we go. But we're back on the road. We're in Springfield, Missouri. This is one of 2 superchargers, and we opted to do this one, this is at a Buc-ee's. It's not where we had originally planned. That one would have been about 3 miles back. This is going to be a version 3 charger. Oh wow, these are new. These are not version 3s. These might be version 4s. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these do not look like the normal superchargers that we've been using. So this is going to be a really new installation. We're going to plug in and we're going to see how much juice we need to get to our meeting spot. And we're going to be meeting our friend at a Hy-Vee grocery store in Osage Beach, Missouri, that has a Tesla supercharger. So we're okay to plug in for a few minutes when we get there.
Traffic here is pretty crazy.
Traffic's pretty crazy, but then again, it's a Buc-ee's, so what do you expect? This is what I mean, this type of cabinet. I think this is a version 4. So we're gonna go ahead, there we go, unplug. My gosh, I hit the button, I had to hit the button to release it from there, and that also opened my charge port at the same time. Cool, so that's a new experience for me. Nice. Let's see what we're getting. Up to 98, 123, 147, 164. We rolled in at 40% state of charge. So 164 is where we maxed out. So now I'm going to navigate to the supercharger in Osage Beach. And right now we're 9% on arrival. So we're only going to need a couple of minutes, especially at this charging speed. The plan had been to stop at this other supercharger a few miles down the road and stop at this one on the way home as our first stop. But we're familiar with Buc-ee's, and we also wanted to get food while we're here. Thing is, we know as far away as this store is, show you here, as far away as the store is and where the restrooms are and where the food is going to be, that we're going to need at least 15 minutes to do that, and this car is only going to need to charge for like 3 minutes. So we could overcharge and make sure that we have enough to get all the way to the campground and then back to that supercharger in Osage Beach, but chances are we're going to get where we're going before the person we're meeting, and we can plug in while we're waiting for her. So what we're going to do is charge until we've got about 15 to 20% estimated on state of arrival. And then I'm just going to move the car up closer to the Buc-ee's and save up some time on our walk. So I'm going to get back in the car and watch the charge. And this is another reason I thought about sending Rachel in to just grab everything, but we also figured that Fiona was going to walk out and want to sniff around and maybe do some of her business.
Dog business.
We have learned that we have to factor in dog time on road trips if we take the dog.
Yeah.
We've had to make an extra stop at least once because she needed to potty. We now have enough energy to continue the trip. We're at 17% on arrival at Osage Beach. We've had some rain that we had to drive through. In fact, we had the heaviest bit was just as we were pulling into Springfield. We're on the east side of Springfield where this Buc-ee's is right now. Now we're at 19%. The instant that gets to 20% on arrival, I'm unplugging, which should be any second now. In fact, let me just get that on camera. Still at 19%, etc. Cooling fans on the car kicked on. We've throttled down to 128 kilowatts, and there's 20%. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna unplug.
Oh, come on. This way.
Come on. There we go. Whoop. And Rachel.
Yeah.
Let's get the dog in the car and move.
All right, come on.
There's signs on the road, painted on the road, of this Buc-ee's telling you what lane you need to be in to get on which direction of Interstate 44. This Buc-ee's is busy. The amount of time it took us to tag team going in to go to the restroom, fill up my drink, grab a couple of sandwiches. We would have ended up getting a super deep charge here. But right now we have enough to get where we're going. That was insane, wasn't it?
It was really, really packed. Yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun busy. It was like kind of stressful.
It was scary busy. It was just trying to get where you were going was difficult.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people just kind of gawking. People just walking in like they've never been to a Buc-ee's before, just kind of staring around.
Just a steady stream of people going in and a steady stream of people going out. But at least there was no waiting at the register. I got up to the line, I stopped for a second, then one of the cashiers waved me over. So at least they're getting people in and out, and there was a lot of celebrating at the kitchen area. The employees were doing cheers and stuff when people ordered things. It was fun. So we're on our way. We've got 84 miles to go to where we're meeting up with our friends. An hour and 24 minutes. We'll be getting off the freeway, it looks like, in 44 miles. And then we'll be on some country roads to get to the state park, or at least to get to Osage Beach. On the road we go. Here is the Hy-Vee grocery store next to a Target here in Osage Beach, and this is where we're going to do our final charge of this leg of the trip. We're going to charge up, get a little bit. I have not enough energy to have dog mode or sentry mode or anything like that on, but I want to be sure to get enough power to get from here to the park and back, plus about 10% of buffer, just in case that the power pedestal at the campsite doesn't work. But I'm going to finish up this charge. Let's see how we're doing. 35 minutes remaining till we're at the charge limit. We don't want to be at the charge limit. 144 kilowatts is what we're getting. We're at 22%. I'm going to navigate to the state park and see where we're at.
Right on to Jesse and Andy Avenue.
It says we'll be at a 21% state of arrival because it's only 9 miles away. So I'm going to charge up to 40% and then get the rest at the campground, because if the camp pedestal doesn't work, that'll be plenty of power. All right, that's enough of that. We're at 44%. Time got away from me right now. I'm going to go ahead and unplug, and we're going to go into this Hy-Vee, get our groceries for our multi-day stay at Lake of the Ozarks State Park. We'll show you the campground here in a minute. Well, we made it to the Lake of the Ozarks State Park. We've got our campsite set up. We got the two tents, our easy up, everything getting ready around the fire. Going to show you real quick. Right here, we are plugged into this pedestal into a 120 outlet because we don't have a level 2 VSE for this car that's mobile. Plugged in, and it's going to take more than a day. We've been here for over 2 hours. We've gone from 40% to 42%. And that is why we don't usually charge on 120 or at level 1. But hey, we're going to be here for 5 days, so such is life. 2 days we get to be in a cabin. So we might have some more clips coming up of some of our stay here at Lake of the Ozarks State Park. And then the return trip home, which we're going to do the whole 650 plus miles in one shot, that's coming up next week. So thanks for watching, y'all.